Dallas Cowboys. Like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Road trips to Kentucky and Tennessee, which are pressure environments where mistakes can snowball a team quickly. And not even listen at those games there. How about the home games they have left with Alabama and Florida, who bring size, who bring pace, and physicality that punish you on both ends of the floor.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Hour number 2 underway on a Friday right here on the Early Line. Yes, love to see it. The energy is high. We don't even need to get caffeinated anymore, Joe. You got us caffeinated hour number 1. The information still flows in hour number 2. It's our job to get you ready for the weekend, which, by the way, a really good slate on Saturday in college basketball, which is normal throughout the season. No NBA action because they're on their all-star break, and the dunk competition comes in tomorrow. And then you take a look at the NHL. They're not playing because why? USA and Canada taking up those spots here in the Olympics. So a lot to go over, a lot more fun to get you ready for this weekend's action, Joe. But we're here. We're up to the task.
Well, we're ready to go, Donnie. We got a lot we got a lot to discuss here. You mentioned the college basketball, but plenty of Major League Baseball to get ready for. As you know, spring training is here, and the games will be starting sooner rather than later.
Baseball going to save the day here. But I got a question, Joe. Like we just talked about, should baseball absolutely shut down for a year, 6 months or whatever to get the salary cap situation right? We'll find out that in due time. But how about this? The Los Angeles Olympics in 2028. Rob Manfred says Major League Baseball is gaining momentum towards allowing players in the Olympics. The interesting part about this, though, Joe, for me is, how does that actually work? Because you worry about in the WBC, it's before the season, you really ramp up to play, but most people don't want to have their pitchers and their bullpen guys getting extended looks or having extra innings outside the team that actually pays them. But now you take a look at Major League Baseball. Like the World Baseball Classic, Joe, is not in June, July, August, or September. It's before the season starts. The Olympics, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, smack dab in the middle of the Major League Baseball season. How would that work? Do we take away the All-Star game? We just let players go away for 10 to 14 days? Then what do we have, like a mini spring training where they get to ramp back up before they get back to Major League Baseball? I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't know how it's going to work either. I mean, but the NHL seems to have at least figured it out for the time being in order to be able to accommodate the Winter Olympics. So, there's obviously a plan and a blueprint in place, Donnie.
Yeah.
Whether Major League Baseball players, the union, or the owners will allow it to happen, he can say it looks like, the discussions were a little bit closer than we were a year ago. Yeah, I still think you're way a ways off there, especially since Major League and I'm not a big fan of the pros in Major League Baseball playing in the Olympics. I mean, what are we doing? The Olympics is supposed to be for amateurs. Is it not, Donnie? Why is Aaron Judge in the Olympics? It shouldn't be.
You know what? We always lose the sight of what the Olympics were always about, amateur athletics as they go. The great story of the 1980 U.S. Olympic team is a bunch of college kids knocking off the Soviet regime, which is basically all pro players back in the day. But why were they pro? Well, they didn't play in the NHL. They weren't allowed to leave their country back then. There was something about that. But now it's big money. It's superstar athletes. It drives the ratings, and that's what they want at this point now. Let's get to the early lineup here, the hottest topics here on a Friday morning, right here on the early line. Steve Tisch, usually being in the news, is like, hey, you know what? If I get in the news, good press or bad press, is really good for the business. Not this type of press. Every day, it seems like now, Joe, we're uncovering more and more about the connection between Tisch and Epstein. That's not a good connection.
Yeah, and I, listen, the PR machine there, which every team has and which the NFL has, this will, this will be wrecked. There'll be a Friday news dump here over the next couple of weeks about him stepping down or retiring. They will not allow this to linger into the NFL draft, much less, I think, the next season. So I think they're already a plan in place here, Donnie, to move on from Mr. Tisch there.
People hate changes, Joe, especially in racing. If I remember, I can't remember what year. I want to say it was in the 90s where like NASCAR went to the Chevy Lumina look and everybody lost their minds. This is ridiculous. I can't believe it. Then eventually you get used to it here. It's the same thing like with the cop cars back in the day. It's like, oh, they look one way, then they go to Chevy. I think they actually went to Chevy Luminas. Then they go to like Ford Explorers. You get used to the looks of it. But the people that actually drive, they're the ones you want to hear from. Max Verstappen, he ain't having it. He is not having this new look racing.
Yeah, he doesn't likes it. The old anti-racing, what is it, F1 cars, Formula E on steroids, I think is how he... Hey, listen, I mean, this is the guy, is the Scotty Scheffler of F1 racing. Like, he is always the favorite. He's a guy that's always going to be at the top, likely going to win the race. If he's this vocal about it, and he's kind of the face right now of the circuit, you better start listening here.
Better start listening to the NBA as well. When they tell you they're tanking, sometimes they just like to whisper it in your ear at this point. How about making a trade for a guy that was healthy and gets to a team that's tanking, and all of a sudden, Joe, he's not healthy at this point. Like, hey, coach, I'm a little bit like under the weather today. Go to the doctor. Doctor's like, oh, look, looks like you got to be out for the year with this call. That's what the Utah Jazz are doing. I can't fault them. Sometimes the only way in the NBA to get good is to tank as many times as you can. You know, OKC got a really good team. They tanked to perfection, which felt like for a decade. Do you remember the games where SGA would score 35 points and mysteriously not play for 5 straight games, come back and score 35 points? We remember those days. Utah is just doing it now and being smart about it, Joe.
Yeah. They're doing it massively, but... Adam Silver, of course, had to step in yesterday and fine the Jazz and the Pacers. Are you ready for this? For tanking behavior. Tanking behavior now over resting players here. So $500,000, I think, for the Jazz, $100,000 for the Pacers. And that slap on the wrist means absolutely nothing because all they did was shut down Triple J yesterday, and Markkanen will be next, and so on and so forth.
You know, sometimes we look at the wrong thing in professional sports. We're like, that's ridiculous. That coach deserved 5 years. You only gave him 1. Well, how about this when that coach goes, yeah, but for the next 4 years, I get $10 million a year splashed into my account, and I don't have to work for anybody. Nick Castellanos, oh, man, that's terrible. The Phillies cut him? That stinks. And they go, well, the Phillies are going to wire $20 million into his account. He can retire or he can go play baseball for another team and make even more money. Nick Castellanos out with the Philadelphia Phillies. He'll be paid in full by the Phillies. And also, we finally get an answer to why he was suspended and benched in Miami. Brought a little El Presidente into the dugout during the game. Didn't go over with the manager.
Yeah, he did not like that very much there. But, hey, listen, I mean, in the scope of things, who's the real winner here? Because this dude's getting paid $20 million on a contract, not to mention, right, at least the bonus for being on the roster to this point. So, it's not a good situation for Philadelphia. Great situation for him. He's being paid not to work for the
By
Philadelphia
the way,
Phillies. Amazing.
a lot of people get this in all like landscapes of work. Like even in our business, it happens just about every other year. Remember Katie Nolan, I think, went to ESPN. They paid her $1 million. She never appeared on any shows because I guess they didn't want her on TV, and she still got paid. That's not a bad thing, getting paid for no work. Everybody strives for that. Caleb Wilson, he wants to put in some work, but he can't. Joe broke his hand against Miami. Tough deal there for UNC.
All right, listen, he broke it in that first half, Donnie, against Miami in that game, and then came back in, wrapped it up, and said, I'm going back in. Unfortunately, they didn't win that game, but that kid is tough as nails, man. He showed me a little something there, a broken hand, and he's like, wrap it up, put some ice on it. I'm getting back out there.
Parker Kingston, wide receiver for BYU, was actually on the kiss cam showing off his new fiance at a home game at BYU with a big ring on her finger. And then he gets slapped with rape charges just a few hours later at this point. Whirlwind going in the opposite direction for what you want to see here, Joe.
Yeah, and more and more to this story keeps coming out, and we'll see what happens here. But it's just not a great situation for everyone involved here at all.
Augusta National telling Gary Player to beat it. Hey, Gary, you want to tee off on the opening tee to start the Masters tournament? You got it. You want to play around with your grandsons? Beat it. There's a Muni down the street that you could pay $50 and a $25 cart fee. Enjoy that one, buddy.
Yeah. When you're slapping one of the goats of the game and you're like, sorry, man, you're not allowed to play here. There's something going wrong there in a big way. My goodness.
I mean, who did he piss off? Was it Hootie Johnson, whoever's still the managing member over there at Augusta? It is very exclusive for a reason. But the fact of the matter is, like, we have every slot booked up for the next 20 years, Gary. Sorry, you can't play with your grandsons here. Oh, Jack,
sorry.
You want to play today? Come on down. We'll be right back.
Exactly.
Dallas Cowboys, like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever, right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Road trips to Kentucky and Tennessee, which are pressure environments where mistakes can snowball a team quickly. And not even listen out of those games there. How about the home games they have left with Alabama and Florida, who bring size, who bring pace, and physicality that punish you on both ends of the floor.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
One for the old guys on the early line on a Friday. Why is that? LeBron James played last night. And how about this, Joe, from ABC News? LeBron James became the oldest player in NBA history with a triple-double when he put up 28 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds in the Los Angeles Lakers' 124-104 victory over the Mavericks on Thursday. Two things in this game, Joe. Yes, that's an unbelievable feat by an older player, but did the Mavericks play anybody in that game last night?
They didn't have anybody. I mean, what do they have? I mean, when Cooper Flagg went down with the foot injury, now he won't be with All-Star Weekend. You know, this was a guy that was averaging 30-plus points a game for them. And once he was off the court, who did they have? They didn't have anybody left. So, doesn't shock me. And LeBron made a big deal about not playing 48 minutes, right? Kind of ripped his team. You just knew he was going to come out and take total advantage of a shorthanded Dallas Mavericks team at home.
Bron here. Once you get released from a team, we just talked about Nick Castellanos of the Phillies, where he's going to go. And to take a look at the Spurs, they had a spot here on their team for Sohan until they didn't and couldn't even get a trade, so just released him here. You know, we end up signing with the New York Knicks. How about that?
Yeah, that's also not surprising. Listen, he was going to land on a team. I'm shocked the way it ended there. And how they waived him. You know, usually where there's smoke, there's fire. We know San Antonio, Donnie, is a very well-run organization. So the fact that they just waived him with the thought that maybe, he does get the 15th roster spot on the New York Knicks. It'll be interesting to see what he can bring to the table for them.
Yahoo Sports with a tweet put out here. Giannis Antetokounmpo, right calf strain, will not play in this weekend's All-Star game. The Bucks announced. Giannis will help coach, though, in the All-Star Celebrity Game and attend the All-Star game on Sunday here. I guess that'll bring in the ratings for Giannis just being there.
Yeah, I guess, but he's not playing. Is Luke? I don't know if Luke is playing. SGA is not playing. Sengun, I don't know. All of these guys are hurt, so I'm not sure exactly who's going to be out on the court for him.
And by the way, Giannis, I was expecting this tweet to be Giannis will not play the rest of the season, the Bucks announced, because they want a better draft pick, just in case they trade Giannis at the end of the season. Keep an eye on that one as well. Shams Charania with a tweet here. San Antonio Spurs star De'Aaron Fox has replaced Giannis Antetokounmpo in the 2026 NBA All-Star Game there. So there you go. Huge replacement there for a meaningless game. Shout out De'Aaron Fox.
Isn't De'Aaron Fox on the American team, one of the USA teams? So it wasn't Giannis on Team World? So how did you replace him with somebody that's not going to be on Team World? So once again, this whole format thing, I got 3 teams, Donnie. I have no idea what I'm looking at. None of it makes any sense, and it's going to be an absolute ratings disaster on the weekend.
How about this? Now, this is an interesting one that I don't think is getting a lot of hype. This guy, Matt, tweets out, I know the bar is low, but Zion has played 30 games in a row for the first time in his career. Baby steps. That's insane. It's usually 1 game hurt, 2 games hurt, 3 games hurt at this point. Has he really played? That's how much I don't pay attention to the NBA, specifically with really bad basketball teams. 30 straight games. That's impressive. He's even playing back-to-backs.
You know what, Donnie? Quietly on the Lakers, they're not good, but they are great against the spread, Donnie. They have been cash cows, ATS, and a big reason of that is because, the market keeps pricing the Pelicans like Zion's going to sit every other game, but he is not. I got to give him credit. Could be another contract on another team that he's auditioning for here, but he's giving it a go, so kudos to him.
How about this one here? Make a lot of money in the NBA, spread the wealth around. Texas native Cade Cunningham has purchased a minority ownership stake in his hometown Major League Baseball team, the Texas Rangers here. Now, I like this. Does that mean he purchased a minority stake there for $100,000 just to put his name on the marquee and away you go with that? Or did he actually come up with some cash here? Because minority stake, there's a lot of them here. It just matters how much you put in. I'm wondering how much he did put in there, Joe.
I don't know, but that he is going to be in part of this All-Star weekend. He's also quietly the leader of the best team in the Eastern Conference, and also an alum, I believe, of where did he go to college? Oh, that's right, Oklahoma State. So I think he's the kid has got a lot rolling for him, and finally staying healthy for most of this year, which is also important.
NBA All-Star Weekend 3-point contest winner. Did you know the favorite here is a rookie in Con Knipple at a plus 270 price, then followed by a guy who hasn't even played this year in Damian Lillard at plus 410. D-Book, Jamal Murray, Tyrese Maxey, and Mitchell in there at a plus 800 price there from Cleveland. Who would you be taking in this spot here? I'm telling you, Lillard plus 410 to maybe knock it down or just take somebody way down there. My guy, Norm Powell, seems like a good objective here to take as well.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that, right? I mean, I'll just go with Steph Curry, because even though he's not in it, he is likely going to win it somehow. Just figure out a way to do it. I mean, the prices here are kind of crazy. Why not your boy Tyrese Maxey? Why can't he get it done? But likely it's going to be Bobby Portis, and we're all going to be scratching our heads when it's all said and done here, Donnie. Didn't Cat win this one year? I think Cat ended up winning this one year. Yeah,
Let's
crazy.
Go back to I want to go back to Craig Hodges when he won. It wasn't in the NBA. They gave him an NBA jersey to come back and shoot three-point shots. Those were the golden days of the three-point competition here. Fantastic stuff. Dunk competition winner, Bryant, Hayes, Johnson, or Richardson. If you put them all in a hat, I couldn't tell you anybody who played there. Is that Kobe Bryant at plus 180? He's coming back. Kobe. Oh, no,
I have no idea who is going to watch any of this here. You're going to watch a Jackson Hayes, who's already, 7 foot tall, somehow is going to be impressed with a dunk. Like, none of this is going to end well, Donnie, but just give me the biggest guy I know. What is it? Plus 3-0. Who's the longest odds guy? I'll take him.
By the way, All-Star game, like the names of the team, the world team, yeah, that makes sense. Plus 165. The USA Stripes and the USA Stars.
It's no idea, Donnie. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. And you just brought De'Aaron Fox in to replace Giannis, but Giannis was on Team World, and now Fox is going to be another spot here on one of the USA teams. So I have no idea what they're doing.
Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This might actually be the tipping point, like we saw in the NFL, where they had to get rid of the Pro Bowl game itself. Then they went to the Pro Bowl games and further embarrassed themselves, and they're probably just going to do away with it here. This could be the tipping point where the audience has no idea what's going on, and the players like, well, we don't even care, and we don't know what's going on at this point now. Tough scene in the NBA. More hot topics on the way. Predictive markets, got you covered. Come on back.
We knew this was coming at some point, but did you think he was going for Kristaps Porzingis? It's almost like they thought they were going to get it on Giannis. They didn't get Giannis, so they went to Porzingis. Now, Porzingis is a stretch 5 if he's healthy. Rim protection, block shots, three-point shooting, helps Golden State.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You guys had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You knew you were facing a Mike McDonald defense that disguises everything, and that was your game plan, to play scared. I mean, Mike Vrabel, I love the guy. He played that game, Donnie, like it was a preseason scrimmage in August and not the Super Bowl.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Was last night so tough for you to swallow that you now want to get rid of the owner?
Yeah, that's right.
Because the big bad Knicks came into town off an embarrassing loss,
on a
and you
back-to-back.
guys were flexing your muscles.
They
about
were not
how
flexing anything.
We're back.
Nope.
We're back. And you lost by 50?
Yeah, well, this is the problem.
Let's make the owner sell the team because
he ducked the luxury
Sixers
tax.
can't compete.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Today is Friday the 13th. Most people get spooked off by that, but tomorrow, some people get spooked off of Valentine's Day as well, Joe. Celebrate it with your loved one. You know what you'll love the best here? Watch the dunk competition with her instead of taking her out to a nice steak dinner and never calling her again. How about that, Joe? You got plans for Valentine's Day? Come on now.
Oh, it's going to be much like every Saturday, Donnie. Pretty much the same thing. There'll be steak, there'll be food involved, and yeah, we're good to go. It's amateur night. You know how that is.
Find your Valentine. Maybe you can find that this weekend as the MVP in the NBA All-Star Game, which, again, good luck trying to convince people how you can actually win MVP and what the structure of the tournament is, who can actually win the games themselves, and how many minutes and how many points you have to have. We have to explain that to your public here. There's a pretty good chance they're probably not going to bet on it or care if they don't know what's going on. But I'll tell you who cares right now. The people that are firing in on Victor Wembanyama right now, 23% chance to be the MVP of the All-Star Game. Next closest competitors are Cunningham, Brown, Edwards, Booker, and Durant here. Wemby seemingly running away with this.
Well, because he also happens to be the one guy that has been vocal about this meaning something to him, and that he is going to treat it like it's a meaningful game. So if he's going to he's yelling and screaming and telling everyone the effort is going to be there. As long as it's there, it's not going to. Nobody's going to give him any resistance. So he is likely has a really good shot at being the MVP.
Now, let me ask you this. This is how much I'm following the NBA All-Star. Where is the All-Star Game at this year? Where is it?
That's a great question, Donnie. I have no idea, and nor do I care.
I think it might be LA. No, you know what? It is. I think it's LA because I remember us.
Yes, you're right. It's where the Clippers
play. We were talking about Kawhi Leonard being like home at that point.
Yes.
He's got to be in there. So, okay, so it is in LA. So if you scroll down and scroll down and scroll down, Kawhi Leonard is at 5%. A little home cooking advantage there that you possibly could get. We'll find out this weekend and see what happens here and get back to you on Monday when it's all set and official. How about this? The 2026 NBA All-Star player to hit a half-court shot. Now, you don't have to pick the individual player to do it. That would be crazy. But the question asked, Joe, will there be any player to hit a half-court shot? The rules market goes. This market will resolve to yes if at least one half-court shot is scored by any player at any point during the game, which includes the All-Star Game, round robin, and championship games, any overtime periods as well. I'm going to say no, because I'm going to tell you right now, if they're shooting from half court, that means this game should never be played again, Joe.
I agree. But there's going to be dudes trying to take shots,
and he has to make
from there. And you got to make it, yeah. So but there'll be opportunities there, one way or the other, because then nothing will get the crowd going if anybody actually shows up, like a half court shot with like 12 seconds still on the shot clock. So should be an interesting game to say the least.
Yeah, they just line up on like each side here, Joe, go back and forth to see if they can actually make a half-court shot. That'll be fun for the actual people in attendance and also watching on their televisions to watch out and play at this point. Let's get back to the Winter Olympics, Joe. Most silver medals. USA, 75% they're trading at right now. The next closest is Austria and Norway. If we look at the medal count from yesterday, Joe, the U.S. has 7 silver medals. They lead the way right now in both medals and also in chances to gain the most silver medals in this competition.
Yeah, they and currently right now, that's kind of where they're on track. I mean, right now, with Italy kind of beating everyone, certainly to the podium in the bronze category. I don't know how many people had them being number 1 or number 2 when it came to total medals, but still a lot of events to go. But if you wanted to take a dark horse, Donnie, why not go a little further down the board there and see if you can't take a flyer?
Men's ice hockey today live, Joe. Finland and Sweden in the third period have a 3-1 score. Let me hit the refresh button here to make sure I can get the latest for the people while we're live on the air. Okay, 11:35 left in the third period here. Finland 3-1 over Sweden, and then Italy and Slovakia. Slovakia with a 2-1 victory over the home team Italians, Joe, with 13 and a half minutes to go there. A little bit later today, you're going to have Czechia and France play, and also Canada back out on the ice again to take on Switzerland. How about that?
Looking forward to it. I mean, as this hockey revs up here, and we got a little taste of it yesterday from the two leaders in the clubhouse there with Team USA and Team Canada. I mean, how dare Team USA allow a goal in, Donnie? How dare they?
Yep. And by the way, shout out ESPN, who I just got those numbers from. Yeah, there's 6 minutes to go in the Sweden-Finland game. Finland's up 3-1, and Slovakia is now 3-1 over Italy with 7 minutes to go. So no problem being 6-7 minutes behind. It's not a real big deal when you're doing a live show at this point. Thanks a lot for that. And by the way, Canada-Switzerland today, they're going to take place minus 7-8 Canada in that game on the money line. More hot topics, raring to go on a Friday edition right here.
We knew this was coming at some point, but did you think he was going for Kristaps Porzingis? It's almost like they thought they were going to get it on Giannis. They didn't get Giannis, so they went to Porzingis. Now, Porzingis is a stretch five if he's healthy. Rim protection, block shots, three-point shooting, helps Golden State.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You guys had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You knew you were facing a Mike McDonald defense that disguises everything, and that was your game plan, to play scared. I mean, Mike Vrabel, I love the guy. He played that game, Donnie, like it was a preseason scrimmage in August and not the Super Bowl.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Was last night so tough for you to swallow that you now want to get rid of the owner?
Yeah, that's right.
Because the big bad Knicks came into town off an embarrassing loss.
On a
and you
back-to-back.
guys were flexing your muscles.
They were not flexing anything.
We're back.
Nope.
We're back. And you lost by 50.
Yeah, well, this is the problem.
Let's make the owner sell the team because
he ducked the luxury
Sixers
tax.
can't compete.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Joe, we've been having some fun here on the early line, and we talk about like NILs and like where they're going in the future and what's going to happen. I just want to spend a little bit of time on a tweet that came out a couple days ago from Mike Rodak, and it's about Alabama athletics here. Now, we understand that football is king in this whole world of, Chambliss trying to find his way and get a 6-year and get paid. It's all fine and good. But in a pay-to-play era, schools also are going to start to say, well, we're only going to support our most profitable teams and programs here, because understand this, sooner than later as well, the Alabama football team, which if we can bring up this graphic right now to show how much in control of sports they are at Alabama, they made the football team, let's call it $65 million, not in revenue, which was close to $150 million in profit. Now you look at the men's basketball team. They made $9 million. That's perfect. They love to see that. So let's call it $73 million in profit from men's basketball and football. Every other institution of sports at the university lost money. So, Joe, let me ask you this question. Let's be honest. If the football team decided we are going to sue the university because we make $65 million in profit, but we have to spread the wealth around to other teams who make no money and let alone lose millions of dollars per year, are we closer for the universities to say we're only going to support the teams that actually make us money and will drop everybody else and fight Title IX?
That could very well be. I mean, this kind of illustrates it right at the top. There are two main revenue streams here for which fund everything else, Donnie, right? And that's going to be football and basketball. And we've known that forever. And it's good to remind people of that. Like, listen, do you want to know why football and basketball and they get away with more than anybody else? And they're always That's why, because the only reason you're playing women's volleyball at the University of Alabama, guess what, is because of the football and basketball teams. And that's it. Everything else is only there, Donnie, simply because football and basketball fund it.
And you like, and also like we could take this like to the next level as well. And just looking at Alabama as like a microcosm here, the women's basketball team lost $4.6 million. I remember the tweets that used to come out where it's like, this isn't fair. Like the men get such better accommodations and much better gyms when they go on the road and play in the NCAA tournament. This is why. This is why they got one dumbbell rack to work out with, and the men got basically an LA Fitness on site that they can use. It's just a harsh reality. And if you do break it down, like, hey, I want to play college basketball at the University of Alabama. Let's just say they have 12 players here. That's an average of $383,000 a year in losses per players. So what you should do next if you're University of Alabama, if you want to play here, it's going to cost you roughly $385,000 a year to play just so we can break even on your basketball team. It's not everything that goes into it, but just a stark contrast to see the football team and the men's basketball team support the entire university to keep them profitable in sports. It's amazing to see as it plays out. Now, we talk about crying poor for Alabama. Yeah, that football team's going to make a lot of money. They're a juggernaut, and rightfully so. How about in the NFL? You make a lot of money, and you build yourself an embarrassing stadium here. The Buffalo Bills. Let's take a here. It looks like it should be in like somewhere in, I don't know, Austria for a soccer stadium because it's too cold to play anywhere. What is this stadium, Joe?
An eyesore is what it is, Donnie. I mean,
Look at
that's
thing.
About as, I mean, but at least the field is heated now. Sidelines are heated. So, you know, basically all of the elements that made Buffalo and gave Buffalo the advantage over the years over at the Ralph there, that's all gone. That's all gone. Now they figured out ways to limit the wind off the lake, and now nobody's going to be cold. Everything is all right. Congrats. You got 1 million more boxes now that you can sell corporate wise. I guess that's good, but nothing else. You took the actual elements that gave them the home field advantage, kind of took that away now and made life easy for everybody.
Let's understand this too, Joe. Football players make a lot of money. The NFL generates a lot of revenue. There was an architectural firm that got paid probably tens of millions of dollars just to design that football field. That's what they came up with, Joe. What did they do?
Right.
You could have went to AI and said, build me a cool football stadium, Bill-centric in Buffalo here, and spent $1 on that. That's what they came up with for tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, isn't that good stuff, though? I mean, it looks good. And people in Buffalo, they'll be like, what's the tailgating like, Donnie? Because where exactly are where's Bill's Mafia going to break picnic tables? I didn't see any of that around there. So that's also going to be very interesting. Do they go like Jerry did and said, hey, listen, we got new furniture. We got new air. There will be none of this jumping on picnic. There'll be no tailgating at all in or around the stadium. So good luck with that, Buffalo.
When the Eagles went from the Veteran Stadium over to Lincoln Financial Field, they tried to put in, you can't bring in water and or any food, and they got absolutely destroyed so fast, Joe, within 24 hours. They had to reverse it because they said it could be a security breach. We can sneak things into your hoagie. That was their excuse, and they got rightfully overturned at that point here. But come on. And also, I'm already seeing the stories where the Buffalo Bills, I've had season tickets, good or bad, for 50 years watching the Buffalo Bills. Now they tell me I got to pay $10,000 per seat in PSLs just for the right to buy my tickets. That also went up 3 times what they currently are. Welcome to the new age Buffalo Bills. It's a shame you had to go through that. But Joe Judge here, talking about fatherhood and football, Joe. That should be important. Let's hear from Joe Judge.
But we would have to educate. This is always a tough conversation to have. It's not a popular thing. This is the truth. We would have to educate significant others who may have been pregnant during the season or going to have a baby during the season. And you'd have to educate them on, you have this baby in the middle of the season. That father has to play good football, right? It's a day-by-day production business. He has to be ready to perform and go out there and play. And when I say that is, you need to let him sleep. He needs to be in another room, detached. You have to explain to the mother, like, hey, listen, he ain't waking up for midnight feedings. After the season, he's full metal jacket. You do whatever you want with him. And he can change every diaper. But in the season, he's got to have a different priority. Now,
Oh, now, wait, here's what I need. Can we get a screenshot of that video where Joe Judge is talking with the judge in the background? Can we get that? I need that up on the screen if we can do it. The reason why, Joe, I'm trying to preempt that is for the simple fact that that judge is paying no attention and already has his mind up and is figuring like, this is Trinidad Chambliss here. We're talking about having a baby mid-season. What does that mean? But see, that's the judge is actually listening there. But for 50 seconds of that, he wasn't paying any attention to what Joe. There, look, right there. Look at the judge. He's writing right there, like, all right, I got a tea time at 3:30. I already got what I'm going to say here. And why are we talking about a baby during mid-season here? What's going on?
And the best part is that judge, Donnie, also threatened to fine the attorneys for the NCAA in contempt of court. Why? Because they walked out the minute he started reading the decision. They knew immediately where he was going, and they left the court. And he's actually threatening to hold him in contempt for not sitting there and listening to his reasoning why. Just hysterical.
Goodness.
Yeah.
How about some Seattle Seahawks news here? 15 players signed the future contracts, which includes Velus Jones and Cam Akers here as we start the offseason of champions there for Seattle, Joe.
Yeah, you got to love it. Off and running here. Football never sleeps, Donnie. And boy, oh boy, it's a lot of decisions to be made for a lot of teams between now and draft day here. So can't wait to see how this all begins to unfold.
By the way, there was a time in the NFL, Paul Allen was the owner before he passed away for the Seattle Seahawks. And we used to always get those hearings at the end of the year. Like, by the way, Paul Allen could buy every single NFL team and have the league all to himself. That's how much money he had. How about this news? The Seattle Seahawks, the football team that just won the Super Bowl, is expected to be sold by current owner Jody Allen, who's the daughter here. All proceeds donated to charity. $6 billion, $7 billion, $8 billion. When your family has that much money, like, yeah, sell the team and we'll give it all away, man. Nice. Gosh, it must be nice.
Well, at that point, just give it away. It's kind of, and they're going to get every penny. Somebody will overpay for that, and then what? Pays to be in the charity business, doesn't it? My goodness.
By the way, and also, what's the tax offset for giving away like $8 billion? I mean, you still owe the government money on top of that. But again, Paul Allen has so much money, he could have bought every single NFL team and have money left over. Crazy work. Let's get to the Olympics. Chris Meaney joins us next.
We knew this was coming at some point, but did you think he was going for Kristaps Porzingis? It's almost like they thought they were going to get it on Giannis. They didn't get Giannis, so they went to Porzingis. Now, Porzingis is a stretch five if he's healthy. Rim protection, block shots, three-point shooting, helps Golden State.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You guys had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You knew you were facing a Mike McDonald defense that disguises everything, and that was your game plan, to play scared. I mean, Mike Vrabel, I love the guy. He played that game, Donnie, like it was a preseason scrimmage in August and not the Super Bowl.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Was last night so tough for you to swallow that you now want to get rid of the owner?
Yeah, that's right.
Because the big bad Knicks came into town off an embarrassing loss.
On a
and you
back-to-back.
guys are flexing your muscles
They
about
were not
how
flexing anything.
we're back.
Nope.
We're back. And you lost by 50.
Yeah, well, this is the problem.
Let's make the owner sell the team because
he ducked the luxury
Sixers
tax.
can't compete.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
It's a Friday right here on the early line. And yes, it's a Sports Grid Network. We always have fun. We like interesting topics, and the Olympics are going on right now. We need some help. It's Donnie right side. It's Joe Raniero. Let's bring in Chris Meaney here. Always willing to help and lend a hand. When hockey is here, Chris Meaney's here to the rescue. What's good, Chris?
What's going on, fellas? Happy Friday. Thanks for having me.
Awesome stuff tomorrow. You got a lot of love in the air here and a lot of love of hockey, which includes action taking place right now. About a minute to go. Slovakia and Italy 3-2. And we just saw a game completed here a little bit early on for another game. But the focus, of course, is going to be on the big two nations here. It's Canada and U.S. Let me start here, Chris. Before we get to the final scores yesterday, coming into the Olympics, your thoughts. And then after watching those two games yesterday, any changes, any tweaks?
Not really. You know, those are the two powerhouses, of course, Canada the favorite and USA just right behind them. And I think the biggest questions that a lot of people had with Canada and the squad was Jordan Binnington in between the pipes. We all know that they're loaded up front with Connor McDavid, who had 3 assists, Nathan McKinnon, who scored, Cale Makar hit the score sheet, Sidney Crosby had a couple helpers. There's no issues with this Canadian offense, but yesterday I thought Jordan Binnington was on point. He was sharp. He was great controlling the puck. He stopped all 26 shots from Czechia. And also, you know, after the game, John Cooper, head coach of Team Canada, was asked, how long have you known that Binnington would be your starter? And he said, you know, since Four Nations face-off, which is roughly a year ago. So his guy showed up. I don't think we'll see him play today when Canada faces Switzerland. As for the Americans, you know, we didn't get to see Quinn Hughes at the Four Nations face-off, and he was all over the ice. I thought the Hughes brothers were dancing last night. You know, Jack had 2 primary helpers playing on the fourth line with Brock Nelson, who scored 2 goals. So convincing wins for Team USA and Team Canada, but not surprised to see those outcomes. And for Team USA, I think, you know, this is a team that I thought would lead the Olympics in goals. Their path is pretty solid. And if they can get that 1 seed, that'll go a long way in really just probably playing in the gold medal game.
You know, watching Team USA, even with Team Canada, it feels like the speed of the game compared to the guys that their teams that they're playing. It's like by the time they get to the third period, the guys they're playing seem to be, you know, they're a second slower. They're a little skating. It's like they are flying. Every line is flying up and down the ice. It's not a bad strategy, right? Just make sure everyone is wiped out by the time you get to the end of the period.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at those two squads, they're so deep, right? I mean, every other nation here in the Olympics, they don't have the bottom 6 that, you know, Canada or USA has. And when you look at Canada in particular, you look at some of the edge stats over at NHL.com, speed bursts. You see the top players in the NHL. Connor McDavid has nearly 200 more than Nathan McKinnon, who's the second fastest player in the NHL. Then you have Cale Makar there as well. And then for Team USA, as I mentioned, Quinn Hughes and Jack Hughes flying around the ice. There's a lot of speed up and down the lineup, especially on the blue line with Jake Sanderson, Zach Werenski. Those are 2 horses, you know, for Team USA. So yeah, over time, the third and the fourth lines, and that's what we saw yesterday, guys. The fourth line, Brock Nelson, 2 goals. Some questions whether Brock Nelson, Vincent Trocheck should be on the squad, and they were great. And the same thing for Team Canada, Bo Horvat, fourth line. You know, going back and forth, rotating between him and Sam Bennett, who needed an injury to get on Team Canada. This is a guy who won the Conn Smythe, you know, and you know, for the Stanley Cup playoffs is the MVP. And Bo Horvat scored a goal yesterday too. So you're right, guys. It's just the depth that those two nations have, and you know, there'll be some tougher competitions moving forward.
Yeah, it's so fun. Like we were talking about it yesterday before these games even started, Chris. It's like, okay, yes, there's superstars in the U.S., but it's like, okay, who do you pick a goal in Canada? And it just reads as like a Hall of Fame sheet from start to finish with the best players in the world. It should be a great collision course if they do get there. But today, as we take a look, Canada does return to the ice against Switzerland as a heavy favorite at minus 800 here versus Switzerland. Another day later, what are we looking for Canada moving forward? Still working things out? Will they try a different goalie? Or is this the type of tournament where you're trying to win the gold medal? You just stick with what works at this point, Chris.
I think that they will try a different goalie. I don't have any confirmation on that, but I do think that Logan Thompson will be between the pipes today. All 3 goalies were on the ice today. Team Canada didn't practice, but all 3 goalies were there. Logan Thompson was the first off the ice. So that kind of to me, anyways, is an indication that he will start this game against Switzerland, which will be a tough game. I did have Canada on the puck line 2.5 yesterday against Czechia. I would back him again today to beat Switzerland by 3 goals. They're just so sound, guys. Defensively, they don't give up a whole lot. Logan Thompson's had a better season than Jordan Binnington. Switzerland won't be an easy game. Like they have some pretty good NHLers. Timo Meyer scored 2 goals in the opener. Roman Yossi's going to log a lot of minutes. They have Nico Hischier, Kevin Fiala. So there's a lot of good NHL players on that team, but Canada is so sound. Look for Macklin Celebrini and in the youngest player for Team Canada. And he getting an opportunity to play with McDavid. What an opportunity for this kid who was second in ice time among Canadian forwards in the game yesterday behind McDavid, who I mentioned had the 3 assists, 10 plus shot attempts and 6 shots. Looks like a man on a mission. But for Celebrini, the 4th teenager to score a goal in their first Olympic period involving NHL players. He was also the 7th teenager to record a point in a single Olympic tournament involving NHL players as well. So you can look for McDavid 2 points. It's around -110. You can get on Celebrini as well, maybe to pick up a helper, an assist, or to find the back of the net again. He looks very, very impressive.
What about Team USA? I mean, Hellebuck got the start, right? But I believe Swayman was his backup, leaving Ottinger as maybe the 3rd guy. So are we going to see mixing and matching, you think, in net for them also?
I think so. Yeah. You give Hellebuck a break. You know, they're 3.5 point favorites here, goal favorites, -122. I'm seeing roughly against Denmark. Who I thought had a pretty good game yesterday against Germany. I think Germany's a sleeper team, especially if Philip Grubauer continues to play the way that he did yesterday and for the Kraken this season. But yeah, I like this American team, and I think we will see Swayman. I think he's been a little bit more consistent than Jake Ottinger. They have the 3 best goalies, I think, in the Olympics. But I look for those Americans again. That top line with Jack Eichel and the Kachuk brothers picked up where they left off in the Four Nations faceoff. And again, Quinn Hughes, another guy to take a look at for 2 points. He's all over the ice. He wants the puck. He's playing significant minutes, and it feels like all the offense goes through him.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch so far. To certainly get better as the level ramps up at this point. As a chance for a gold medal. As we said today, Canada's going to take the ice against Switzerland. Then on Saturday, 3:10 Eastern start, Denmark taking on Team USA. Canada still the favorite at a -105 to get the gold medal. He's Chris Meaney. Follow him on X at Chris Meaney. Love to have you, Chris. Hope to talk to you soon here. We'll see who's going to win that gold medal. We'll be right back after this short break.
We knew this was coming at some point, but did you think he was going for Kristaps Porzingis? It's almost like they thought they were going to get it on Giannis. They didn't get Giannis, so they went to Porzingis. Now, Porzingis is a stretch 5 if he's healthy. Rim protection, block shots, 3-point shooting, helps Golden State.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You guys had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You knew you were facing a Mike McDonald defense that disguises everything, and that was your game plan, to play scared. I mean, Mike Vrabel, I love the guy. He played that game, Donnie, like it was a preseason scrimmage in August and not the Super Bowl.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Was last night so tough for you to swallow that you now want to get rid of the owner?
Yeah, that's right.
Because the big bad Knicks came into town off an embarrassing loss.
On a
and you
back-to-back.
guys are flexing your muscles.
They
about
were not
how
flexing anything.
We're back.
Nope.
We're back. And you lost by 50.
Yeah, well, this is the problem.
Let's make the owner sell the team because
he ducked the luxury
Sixers
tax.
can't compete.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Couple fun ways to end the show today. We got them picked out, which we always like to handicap. We like to bet on events. We like to win events as well. Drake, he says, you know what? I'm tired of this. I just can't win enough. This is from Bleacher Report Betting. Drake said he's done with sports betting and sticking to casino games after his $1 million loss in the Super Bowl. Yeah, stick to casino games that have a built-in advantage against you, Drake. Sounds like that's going to be a great advantage for you.
Oh, that's unfortunate, Donnie, because we all made a lot of money fading whatever it was that he bet there. So, unfortunately, yeah, that's too bad, unfortunately, there. So, I don't think he's won a bet since the Raptors won the championship back in, 2019? I think that was the last time he's actually won a bet. So, yeah, I don't blame him. Much better if you go to the slot machines. The odds are more in your favor.
How about this? In your favor, going to a game, you expect to be able to sit back, relax, have a beer, have a hot dog, and have a pleasant experience. Well, apparently, some people sitting in the stands at Oshawa Generals games here are not using any soap or water at this point now, as the team had to put out a statement that said, oh, wash up before you come to the games, Joe. How do you think that went down?
I'm not sure how that even comes about, Donnie, and why would anybody actually go to the game if I got to worry about the dude not having showered in like 2 months sitting next to me? Probably not going to do it, Donnie. Not going to do it.
By the way, they had to put out a response that said they're going to serve it 2 minutes for this one. They're sorry, and hopefully they can wash this one off. Like, no, what are you sorry about, and what do you have to complain for? Put it this way. If you got offended by that statement as an Oshawa fan, you are the guy not using soap and water. How about that, Joe? That's how I take it.
I think there should be a scratch and sniff test before they let you in the building, Donnie. That's what I think. Yep, it has to come with it. Yep.
Now, look, they, talking about the Oshawa Generals, asked their fan base what they thought. Now we at the SportsGrid Network ask our fan base what they think here in our Fade the Public poll. At SportsGrid, our Fade the Public poll asked if it was right that the Oshawa Generals actually asked their fan base to use soap and water. Not just kidding. We probably should have done that, actually. But we asked, should Trinidad Chambliss have been granted another year of eligibility? Simple and sweet. Live update, 70% no. 29.9% I'm saying right here said yes there. Come on now. Who said yes?
Yeah, I mean, the precedent is set now, and that's the problem. Whether individually, Donnie, right, whether his particular case, there is some merit here as to the NCAA dropping the ball on all of this. But the reality is the timing of it could not be worse. Great for him and Ole Miss, but for the game of college football, yeah, here come the lawsuits, and they're coming quickly.
Come on now. Pay those lawsuits out. Move forward here. Get paid. Whatever you do. It's no rules here in the NCAA, and that's the time for it here. Now it's time for Friday. We're trying to get paid. Here's our best bets. Bye, bye, bye. No basketball tonight, Joe, in the NBA, which is, I think I know where you're going. Tell the people.
It means we're going college hoops. In the game of the night, Donnie, Michigan State taking on Wisconsin in Wisconsin. And the crazy part about this is the last time that we saw Wisconsin, they won a game on the road against Illinois in overtime on Tuesday. Ironically enough, the last time we saw Michigan State play, it was Saturday. They were winning a game in overtime against Illinois as well. So they both come in off overtime wins against Illinois, only Michigan State is the more rested team here. Not to mention, they're the better team. I mean, Wisconsin with the upset win there on the road. Now they got to come home and take on the better defensive team with the best player on the court with Fears tonight. Short favorite here for Michigan State with a couple extra days of rest. It matters. It's going to matter here tonight. Jeremy Fears Jr., again, best player on the court. He's going to elevate this team to a win tonight, and I think it's going to be rather easy.
Team total tonight for me, and I'm going to head to college basketball. St. Louis taking on Loyola Chicago.
Ooh.
Joe, we previewed this game early in the show. St. Louis's defense, the best in conference play, which includes the best three-point shooting percentage against and also two-point shooting percentage against. You take a look at Loyola's offense, we pointed out to you the worst in conference play, and also they turn the basketball over 22% of the time, which basically means 1 out of every 4 times up the court, Joe, they don't even get a shot off. They're going to get their doors blown off tonight, but we're not betting the spread. We're betting a team total, and we're not going over, Joe. We're going under 68.5 points for Loyola Chicago tonight. Defense, defense, defense for the Billikens tonight for me, Joe. That's how we get down. You have 2 games tonight. It's a Friday. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. You know what? We'll do it bright and early once we get back in again on Monday. For Joe and Donnie, we'll see you then.